Liberty's been involved in for a while called Marxist Revival, which is a project to start discussions amongst a number of similarly minded socialist groups in different countries around the world, in particular France, Turkey and Iran, as well as here in the UK. And Maziar Razi is a member of the Iranian Revolutionary Marxist Tendency, who's visiting the UK, who's also involved in this project. So we thought we'd have a meeting with Maziar to talk about the project that's underway. So, Maziar.
Thank you, comrades. This project, in fact, should be very self-evident why we should, at this stage, this period of history of class struggle, we should revive, renew, and regenerate some sort of international activity. The evidence of it is this, that to the masses of the workers and oppressed people all over the world, it's been very clear that the nature of capitalism is to rob them, and the banks are behind this, very evident and very open robbing of the people, which started like 2008 after the crisis of this period of neoliberalism. And to the masses, in order to react to this very evident attack upon their interests, are in the streets. Hundreds of thousands, millions, in fact, have gone to the streets in the last few years, and it's continuing. Now we have people in the streets in Turkey, and a week before in Greece, and then it's ongoing in Spain, Italy, all over the world. There have been occupations in America even, and then Middle East, North Africa has been changes of governments, revolts and revolutions all over the world. So that is, in fact, for us as Marxist revolutionaries, one central question is going to be posed in our mind immediately. Why aren't there any socialist revolutions in this world? This sort of period, that there are deep economic crisis of the capitalism and deep political crisis of capitalism, and the states very clearly and very vividly have come behind this 1% minority and defending the banks. When they make a mess out of everything, they make with austerity measures, they're making millions of people to pay for their mistakes, and then when they in fact come about and then rob the people very clearly, like Barclays Bank and HSBC, they just change the heads, and then they cut their bonuses by like a few £100,000, and the rest they get their bonus and get a better job. In fact, it was very interesting. Just last week I was traveling on the ground. I saw this newspaper Metro, and there was a news which that number 500,000 drew my interest to it. They mentioned in that, and this is a newspaper that is well read by thousands of people in the streets normally because it's free. It says that £500,000 has been given as bonus to 4 or 5 bankers. Just as a bonus, £500,000. And the next day, ironically, there was another article by the Oxfam and CAP looking at the poverty in England. They're saying that 500,000 people are under poverty line today in England. That means they haven't got much to eat even. So that's very ironical, because this is the situation now. We get the crisis of capitalists, and they're robbing people very clearly, and people as a result have come to the street. Now, in this sort of periods, we really have to revive and relook at our position. The revolutionary Marxists, for the last 30, 40 years, especially the Trotskyists, have been preparing for revolution, socialist revolution. This is our task, to prepare for a period which is calm and cool and the consciousness is not there. We prepare, as very few people, and we continue consistently and so on. But now that the millions are coming to the streets, there is no leadership. So there is in fact it's very clear crisis of the revolutionary left, because we should have been leading millions of the people in the street. We should have been leading revolutions or pre-revolutionary situations in many places in the world. And Trotskyists and revolutionary Marxists are absent, totally absent, and they have no sort of indication of leading anybody. They can't even leading themselves. They're, bickering against each other. There are splits and so on. We can see SWP now just breaking into pieces. This largest Trotskyist organizations in European scale that was supposed to be leading the revolutions are in this sort of state, and we have left the streets empty for the anarchists to take over. There is no revolutionary Marxists anywhere to be seen. What they are doing, either they have gone and followed the routine activity of building phony internationals, 10, 20 groups, they come without any program, as the leaders of the world revolution, like IMT, like IS, they pretend to be the revolutionary international. They just either keep on doing that, and then without any force, without any sort of indication that they can lead even one small strike in the world scale, or they just keep on in the linear fashion the routine activity they've been doing and their habit to do for the last 30 years. So now I think this is the time that we rethink about this situation. I mean, we, as a Marxist, we can't close our eyes to the present upheavals and leave the streets to the generally people. They need revolution. I mean, the 16, 17-year-old kids came to the street 2 years ago in England. They wrote on the walls without any prior Marxist education. They wrote on the walls revolution. They wrote on the socialism. So that means there's a lack of leadership which exists in the world scale. Of course, we can't find an immediate, quick solution to that. We wish that there was a Comintern today, Comintern that was created after the Russian Revolution in the world scale. I can assure you the objective situation is ready for socialist revolutions today in the world scale. And this lack of leadership obviously has led us to sit around and practically carry on with our routine activity that we have been in a habit to do in the last 30 years. So the project of Marxist revival has come out of this objective situation. What we are saying that we cannot start resolve the crisis of leadership immediately. We cannot create in international organization in the world scale to lead the revolution. But what we can do is start rethink about what small steps we can take towards preparation for a revolutionary international. That is the idea of Marxist revival. It's a project. It's not an organization. It's not yet a tendency even. It's just a project that wants to bring this idea forward that we have to rethink. We cannot go on the routine manner, selling paper in this location and that location, and then seeing where there is a SWP split, go and recruiting one person from there, and then tedious activities, which we have been doing is really tiring, and nobody's is got the interest to come towards us with this sort of activity. This is the activities for the period that there was a lull period, a period that the relationship of forces was to the interest of the world capitalism, and they could get away with it. They had done reforms and they had done a lot of things. This idea of neoliberalism, it's just actually with the defeat of the miners in this country and many other countries, they just actually mesmerize the people. People would not come to a revolution or revolts. But now the situation has changed, Therefore, we have to take a change of direction. We have to take change of attitude towards building an international organization. So this idea has come out of that present situation, which is going to be different to other organizations. We are not for building phony internationals. We are not for carrying on, closing our eyes to the situation that we are facing now. So this idea is come about in this way, and it's very modestly wants to re-examine the basic ideas of Marxism. That has been, in fact, has been revised by many